My name's Wade, and today we're going to be looking at the Invictus Caloundra Classic game between Callum Hyland and Bruce Fleming. We start the game off with Bruce Fleming in play. He broke down initially at hoop 4, and we see him just making hoop 4 there, but Callum shot at his ball and missed, so Bruce is left with no escape ball. There's the black ball that was shot at over on the boundary, but Bruce decides instead to head back to shoot and partner up at his ball on the north boundary. And so he fires red at yellow, and sadly for Bruce, that is a miss. And so now Bruce's balls are both set up on the north boundary near hoop 3, ready to resume his break on his next turn. You see Bruce coming over here to measure the ball in. It's getting quite late in the day, so hopefully this game can be finished before the darkness sets in. So Callum now with a shot from across the court here, shooting at Bruce's balls. And we see the blue ball squirting off, so he must have made the roquet on the yellow. So he goes over and sets his mallet on the boundary to measure in the yellow ball, and goes and collects the striking blue ball. We can see Callum in his customary bright pants, which as the evening starts to become dark might be quite useful for tracking him across the court here. So just popping the yellow ball into the court towards hoop 2 and getting his rush on the red back to hoop 1 here. A long rush, the full length of the court. Pulling up slightly short from a position in front of the hoop, but for a player of Callum's skill level, that should pose no difficulty to take off here in front of the hoop. And it also on the leaving the red ball in that position, he has the opportunity to get the blue out of this hoop and rush the red to the black that's on the boundary on the west side if it comes through. But it's just gone a little bit too far there for that outcome. But Callum's underway, making the first hoop. Nice solid roquet on the red, sending it all the way to the boundary. So the red ball will be loaded to 3 here, you would imagine. And it looks like he's off to black while doing that. No, that wasn't what Callum had in mind. So he's taken off, leaving the red there, and gone over to his black ball situated on the boundary near hoop 4. So he certainly roqueted that ball. The way he's placing these, it looks like the black is going to be loading hoop 2 while he comes over to the yellow that he popped into the court before. He's got to be pretty happy with that shot and leaves himself with a nice rush on yellow to get it over to hoop 2. And if he succeeds with this hoop, he has now set himself up for his break of 9. We'll pan over a little approach from the side, but after this approach shot and hoop, you would imagine he's going to have his break nicely under control, and it will only be a major catastrophe that will prevent him from completing his first 9 here. Callum just looking to play the 3-ball break until he has the opportunity to pick the red up, which is on the south boundary near hoop 1. Loads yellow down to hoop 4, coming across past the black so that he can knock that nicely in front of hoop 3. So it's all come together very well here for Callum. Unlike many of the other players, Callum uses a full wooden mallet, handle and all, much smaller than many other people use. But he definitely is one of Association Croquet's great entertainers, Callum. If there's something there to do, he will do it just for the sake of doing it. You get a feeling with him that the joy of playing is more important than the competitiveness of winning, although Callum does win quite a lot, and he's been involved in the Australian team for many years. He's got this nicely under control, nice close hoop here that he just touches through. Thick takeoff, putting the yellow ball in the centre of the court, likely as his now pivot ball, and the red ball he will likely send up to hoop 6 while getting the rush on the black ball for hoop 5. Perhaps the red ball slightly longer than he might have planned, but that should not prove a problem for Callum. He's got all 4 balls now, so not only should he make his 9, he should leave a difficult leave shot for Bruce to make. Comes out of that hoop and plays his partner ball to 1 back, which is often the standard way to set up the court in the first break. That way then he can get it loaded nice and close to 1 back, because of course we don't want to be making our last hoop before the leave with partner ball. So by putting the black ball at 2 back there, he ensures that partner ball can be sent to where he'd like to make the leave, be that at the peg or a 2-4 leave with his balls waiting at hoop 4. But as he carries on, he's up to hoop 6 now, with everything loaded nice and tight in front of him. A quite expedient player, doesn't take too long messing about. Very quick-witted, so Callum develops his plan and then plays to his plan. So he's putting the red ball up to 1 back which suggests that he might be planning to do a 2-4 leave, but we'll find out in the next couple of minutes what he ends up leaving Bruce. He comfortably makes it through one back. Looking to turn around, and he's going to place that yellow ball effectively into the jaws of hoop 2, which makes it exceptionally difficult to roquet from the northern balk lines if that's the shot that Bruce decides to play. And Callum's short mallet came in handy just before, as he had to take an unorthodox shot at the red. Now he loads that over to 3 back nice and tightly. He's got a little bit of a longer shot on black than he might have otherwise liked, but that wasn't going to prove a problem, although he now does need to do a little takeoff in front of this hoop. Oh, it almost jammed in 2 back there, but it's got through. Usually he perhaps might have liked to have rushed the black over towards hoop 4, but instead he's going down another alleyway here. He was looking to jaws the black in hoop 1. Nearly successful, but bounced off the stanchion, so it's now sitting against the stanchion. But he's come over after that cut in the video and made 3 back and drives red down to the south boundary. So where is he going to leave the red ball? Remembering the yellow ball is in 2. He plays the red ball into the court. Just north of hoop 4 by the looks of it. Roquets the black from in front of hoop 1, and now the last decision pretty much left for him here is where to finish his 2 balls. He's called the ref. And the ref today is Willie Silk. Very experienced, both referee and player. So he's called the referee because it looks like he's going to put both these balls out of play on his final stroke. So he wants to have the ref mark where one ball goes out, and then he'll watch the other ball. And so a nice tidy break of 9 there for Callum. And he's left Bruce with a quandary. The yellow ball is in hoop 2. The red ball, as we can see in the background there, is just northwest of hoop 4. So Bruce with the lift, he's already on hoop 4 with yellow, so he would prefer to be playing beg your pardon, he's already on 4 back with yellow, so he'll be wanting to make this shot with the red because that's the ball that's got all the hoops to play. And he does exactly that, picks up the red. And because the yellow is sitting there in the jaws of hoop 2, it's going to be quite a difficult shot to get that one. So he's got to shoot at Callum's 2 balls. And it could be the case that the match hinges on this roquet. If Bruce hits, he'll have play. And with balls in favourable positions to do things, because he'll be roqueting Callum's balls together. If he misses, he's leaving all 3 balls there for Callum to set up a triple peel. So a very important shot, this one from Bruce. This takes his time to line it up. Wasn't quite vibing, so he's gone back to restalk and re-prepare his shot. No, that's a miss from Bruce. And so that now allows Callum an opportunity here with all 3 balls together. And with an opportunity like this, the first, and this is probably why he set it up this way, knowing that if Bruce missed, then everything is on a dinner plate, ready for a triple peel. And Callum knocking the red ball into the court a little bit, setting up a dolly rush on the blue ball down to hoop 1 to begin his break. A little bit of a tricky shot here off to the side of the hoop. A little bit short perhaps, but I wouldn't expect Callum to have too much of an issue with this one. Although he does have to hit it a little bit harder than he otherwise perhaps would have liked to have. Having a joke with Bruce there. The return roquet hit dead centre. You've seen those get missed in the past. Normally by players of my standard and not players of Callum's standard. So he sends the blue ball off to hoop 3 in preparation to begin his triple peel. Comes down to the red ball. Cuts that inside the court. He's just going to make sure here that he doesn't accidentally wire himself from the yellow. And so he's just decided to come off to the side there so that there's no danger of getting the hoop in the way of the yellow ball that he'd like to roquet. So it's set up nicely now for Callum to do a standard triple peel. He'll be looking to load hoop 4 with yellow while going to red and rushing red over to hoop 3. so that it's in a position to be his escape ball when he peels the blue. He perhaps might have liked to rush the red ball over a little bit more towards hoop 3, but he now should be able to roll this ball over to an area where he'll be able to roquet it after making the triple peels, and that's what he's done. He wants the exit ball next to hoop number 3. He's actually put the blue ball into the hoop, and so he's checking just to make sure that the bum of the blue ball is sticking out on the playing side of hoop 3, which it is. So that means he can take croquet on this ball, and the black ball hasn't begun to run this hoop yet. So he knocks it through. Black hasn't made the hoop. So he makes the hoop, and I think he made hoop and roquet. So the blue ball right in front of the hoop, not very far out. So he'll pop this one back through, getting his first peel done. And the red ball right next to the hoop there, ready for his escape down the court. You can see the lights going on in the house in the background. It's getting quite dark. And I'm sure Callum doesn't want to peg down this game and have to come back and finish it tomorrow morning, so he'll be looking to complete this triple peel so that he can head home. A lovely load for Callum with the red ball at 5. He'll look now to come just past this yellow ball and play it back up the court. And he'll look to load hoop 6 with yellow while coming across to his peely ball that's just behind hoop 3. So a perfect rush there from Callum. And he'll look to rush blue back towards penultimate for blue. Looks like he's even lining up a peel here. Usually the ball is left at roughly this position and a takeoff is done back to hoop 5 and then it's come back to be peeled, but Callum's ahead of time, so he's in the rush across presented the opportunity to peel the blue, so he took it. Got the black ball nicely down near the red. So this triple peel is 2/3 of the way done. And Callum hasn't even made hoop 5 yet. Red played down to load 1 back. Callum playing the blue over towards where the yellow was left. Makes it an easier approach shot now to get the rush back to hoop 6. As Callum is making his second break here, at some point he'll be looking to get that blue ball back in front of Rover for the final peel. We'll see if he does that at this point. Yellow going down to 2 back as the load, and he will be off to visit the blue ball. The yellow ball came down there fast, but fortunately for him, it just clipped the 2 back hoop, which prevented it from going too far down past the hoop, and it's sitting just off to the side, slightly behind it. Blue gets played back to the peg, probably just south of it. You can see Callum there looking up, surveying where the blue is, because he wants to set up after running this hoop to rush the red down towards where that blue is. He's done that perfectly. So red will go down and load 3 back. And then he'll look to be getting blue nice and close to that Rover hoop, ready for the final peel. Bit of an overtaking roll there, just pushes the red nicely in front of its Rover hoop. Through black goes. So Callum now will look to play the yellow off to the boundary so that he can play the load into 4 back with yellow while coming across to the blue ball, which ideally he would like to peel at this point, and then he's done all his peels and he just has to finish off the final few hoops. He's come across and he's sat nice and close to the blue, so he can just tap it ever so gently, get it directly in front. There'll be a bit of a pull on this one. So he's taking his time with it, getting the measurement of it, because he's spitting the black ball off to the side here. It means that the blue ball won't go quite as straight as it would if it was a direct hit. So although it hasn't gone through, it's in the jaws, which means that any touch on it's going to send it through. So he can't be too unhappy with that. It's well in the jaws. If it had bounced out off to the side, it might have caused him more consternation, but that should not prove to be a problem. So through Callum goes, and I think he did get a hoop and roquet, just flicked the yellow as it came through. And so his 2 options are to leave blue there and play on up to the yellow ball at 4 back, or rush peel it here. And he's decided to come across for the rush peel. What he wants to make sure is he gets it through the hoop and doesn't get the blue ball stuck in the hoop that then he has to do a takeoff from to get to hoop 4, which will be difficult, but not an issue. Through blue goes, allowing him to take off comfortably back to 4 back. Pulled up right next to the yellow. Easy tap in front. So Callum just with the final three hoops to make and to get the blue ball back to the peg so that they can peg out. It's getting very dark now. It's actually even a lot darker than it seems on the screen here. Callum loading Rover with the yellow, getting behind the blue to play it back up to the peg, ready for the peg out. Blue rushed up to the red, so it's all looking good here for Callum. He just needs to finish off these final couple of hoops. You see how easy the good players make these triple peels look at times. There was a hoop and roquet, just moved the red ball as it came through. And likely put this red between the peg and Rover, rush the blue down the court a little bit, send the blue back to the peg, and go to yellow, and it's all looking hunky-dory. One more hoop, one rush. He's going to finish this game just in the nick of time before bad light definitely would have stopped play. And Callum's not even going to bother using the red. He's going to go straight to the blue, get it back towards the peg, line up the peg off here. Doesn't want to miss this. Wants to go home, have a shower, have dinner. So he's making extra care, because if he misses this, then all the balls are going to be, all 3 balls, because you imagine he would peg his other one off, would be there for Bruce. So here he goes. Yep, lined that up correctly, got both of them in the last shot. And that concludes Callum's triple peel victory over Bruce Fleming.